Hi, Letoya.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, and you?
Good, thank you.
It's been a while since I saw you. I mean, we did some work a few years ago.
Yes, we did.
And I'm happy that you're here.
Thank you.
You come from an entertainment family.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna reveal my age. So I used to listen to your dad's music back in the days when I was young. And I think that's where I wanna start. I mean, how was it like growing, you know, being brought up in a family, you know, that was in the public eye, and how did that influence your upbringing?
Look, it wasn't always very easy because we have a striking resemblance in our family. So, you know, when other kids were going through adolescence and getting a little naughty and experimenting, we knew that there was things that we just couldn't do because so it was both
So
a
you can't
blessing.
behave normal.
Yeah. And because we respected our family and our parents and our lineage and where we come from, we opted to do the right thing and to not embarrass our family. But it was also a beautiful experience. We had a different life from other children. We were exposed to the arts, the entertainment industry. We were exposed to music, to studios, to things that other children didn't ordinarily get, that other children only dreamt of getting. But more than growing up in a family filled with entertainment, we grew up in a healthy family unit, which was the most important thing. We had a mom and a dad who loved us very well. We had a mom who didn't care how famous our dad was or how famous we were becoming. She was still very much strict and a disciplinarian. So we had a very good balance of our upbringing, and we were brought up in a very warm home and loving. Yeah.
You were a child star yourself. I mean, you broke into the industry at a very young age. Tell us about that.
Well, officially broke into the industry at the age of 9, but like at the age of 7, I was like featuring on little music videos, you know. I remember featuring on Brenda Fassie's, I was about to say Auntie Brenda, music video. I
remember that,
my friend do dangerous. And then at 9, I then fell into my own career, started presenting, started on KTV at 9. At the age of 10, went on to what is now known as Yo TV. At the age of 11, I was the anchor presenter for the Disney UNESCO Children's Summit, so I was doing links between Paris and South Africa. And my career just flourished from there, and then continued doing a lot of commercials, music, and then officially got into a music group with my sisters called Schoolgirls.
I remember that.
At the age of 14.
Sure.
And we sang and toured and went to school in between and tried to have a social life, which was very non-existent because we were just so busy. And that happened for 2 years before my mom passed away. And because my mom was such an anchor and she was our biggest support system and she was there on tour with us wherever we went, her passing away was a time for us just to reflect, to pull ourselves towards ourselves, to heal outside of the public eye, to find ourselves. And Letoya was always more interested in the singing and the acting and the dancing and the creative stuff, but my sisters kind of found their selves and decided, you know, this music thing, we were just doing it for fun. We weren't really that interested in it. It was really cool though. Younger sister went into dancing. My older sister went into PR and business management. And that's where I continued within the industry as a singer, as a presenter, went on to present Idols, went on to present Channel O, went on to present just a lot of things up until Isidingo and Generations. So that's, I'm sure there's a lot more, but yeah, that's the short version of my journey in this industry.
Yeah. Look, every human being is entitled to make their own mistakes and learn from them. But if you're in the limelight, how challenging is it to make your own mistake without people judging and condemning you as if they don't have their own mistakes and skeletons in the closet? How challenging is it to be in the public limelight and being able to make your own mistakes and to learn from them and being free from being judged and condemned?
Look, being in the public eye is challenging enough. It's difficult enough just to be in people's eyes all the time and to have people feeling that they have a say over your life and what you do. But one thing that's helped me get through is just realizing that I'm human and that I've got a life to live, and this is my career and these are gifts that I've been blessed with. And my gifts that I've been blessed with come with being in the public eye, and I've just got to accept it for what it is. So either I'm going to learn to get into my zen and put myself into an energy bubble where I don't allow everything that people says to affect me, because if we're going to go around living life and saying, hey,
yeah,
that's where we begin to fall. I think a lot of people, not even I think, there's a lot of people who are not even in the public eye who go through that. To
Yes.
say, you stay in an unhealthy marriage because you're thinking, what are people gonna say? And that is it's so unhealthy to live in such a space, because you stop making decisions that are healthy for you, but you make decisions dependent on what other people around you are gonna say. So being in the public eye is difficult enough. It's difficult enough because my life is not just my life anymore.
Yep.
I walk out of my house, I walk into a shop and I'm going grocery shopping for my family, and every moment is shared with a fan, you know? So I've had to accept and embrace that this is gonna be my life for the rest of my life. It's the highs and the lows of my career choices, but it is what it is. And either I'm just gonna accept it for what it is and keep myself in a safety bubble, or I'm gonna let it penetrate and pierce my soul.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to live my life based on what other people have to say, because that is where the crumbling starts.
Yeah.
That is where people in our industry are now on drugs, and there's addiction, and there's psychological cases. That is where the downfall of artists start, the depression, the suicide. It all starts with because we lived for the people instead of living for yourself and your God self.
So, you came into the entertainment industry at a very young age. Obviously, you've had to handle money as a young person. How did you go about navigating the finances as a young celebrity, you know, when you just entered the market?
My parents were very good at helping me navigate the money, but sometimes I also think that they allowed me to start navigating my own money a little too soon in my life. I wish they had waited a little longer, or I wish that they had better savings in place for me. I wish I had better knowledge on how to save. I wish I had learned how to take even just 10% of my salary and put it away all the time. Just put it away, just put it away, just put it away, just put it away. I think at some point I did start becoming a little reckless with money. And when I say reckless, I was just spending money because I had it. And not necessarily on shopping or this or that. I just loved my sisters, I loved my family, and so I wouldn't really count cents. I would just spend. You know, what started crippling me is this need to look after people around me. And I did it to the point of even allowing spouses into my life that started taking advantage of the fact that I am financially strong. So this habit of looking after everyone around me kind of seeped, it seeped into a marriage which became unhealthy. It seeped into relationships, and I realized that I was enabling these bad relationships because I didn't know how to have borders and draw the line.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm still on a journey of, I do budget better, I do save better, I do prioritize. Like, I'll make sure things in the home are looked after before I try and just go out and spend a little money on myself. And even then, I've needed to be taught by my wife right now to look after myself, because even when I have change to spare, I would always prioritize everyone else around me, including my kids. And it took my wife to start teaching me that I need to prioritize myself. It's okay to gift yourself. It's okay to say, Toya, here's something for yourself for a job well done. So I think my journey with finances and money is an ongoing journey. I'm 38 years old. I turned 38 years old yesterday, but it's still, I'm still learning. But I've got to get this right much quicker. You know, you can't learn this thing forever.
Yeah.
You've got to understand your finances.
Sure.
You've got to understand them.
Well, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Well, listen, it's my birthday for the whole month.
So it's a birth month.
Born, I'm still settling with happy birthday.
Yeah. So you said a couple of profound things about money.
Yeah.
Right now, how would you describe your relationship with money?
I think I have a very, very good relationship with money. I love money. I respect money. I plan with money. And money is attracted to me, which is a lovely thing. So I must be doing something right.
Okay, so money follows you.
Yeah, it does.
I like how you think deeply there.
Listen, bona,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me, do you think the financial decisions we make today can predict our financial futures?
Absolutely. Everything that we do today outside of finances predicts our tomorrow. Every choice we make today predicts what the outcome is for tomorrow. So if you are a businessman and you get a huge business deal, or you're a tenderpreneur or win a lotto, and you've got all this money, if you don't plan correctly for this money, you could lose it in a day. You could wake up tomorrow and look back on this money and go, you know? Money should be respected, and we should plan for money. And if we can, plan on how you can make this money that you have bring in more money for you.
So you mentioned relationships a couple of times. Let's talk about that. To what extent do you think the choices we make when it comes to relationships, the type of relationships we have, the kind of partner that we have, can actually impact our financial well-being, positively or negatively?
Oh, Mkhulu, it impacts our financial well-being on such a huge scale. I'll make an example out of myself. So I got married at the age of 20, and I was married for 9 years. I got 3 beautiful babies out of that relationship, and I got divorced, and I've been divorced for 8 years. I am still sitting in a financial rut because I was married to someone who decided to, like within a month of marriage, decided to come out of his job. How? What's going on? No, about DJ. How? From corporate to DJ. Don't you think we should have discussed this before we got married, Pela? But I don't want to be married to an artist. Anyway, I decided to humble myself and respect the dream and the process. But I was still having to carry the family financially, and I carried the family financially for the whole 9 years. Bought a property, but property had to be on my name because of issues of him not being from South Africa, but because we were married in community of property, he's still there. Do you get what I'm saying? Divorce happens, ex-spouse does not want to move out of the property, cannot sell the property. And so I'm sitting here 8 years later and I'm in a huge financial crisis. I mean, like about 1.4 million rand in debt because he refuses to move out of the property. He's not paying the bond. He's not paying the rates and taxes. I've got primary custody of the children, but he woke up one day and decided he's going to sue me for maintenance. So it's just a continuous cycle of financial abuse. So what you do in your relationships and who you marry is very, very important. I started looking at families and arranged marriages, and I started realizing, oh God, now that's why they do these things. You know, we get into relationships for love because we say, but we don't realize the business aspect of a marriage. There's love in it, but it's about bringing two families together. And how do you make these families stronger and more powerful? Finances do that.
Yeah.
That's why I never check. Oh, okay, no, or set up Leo from family A because it's gonna make our family stronger. Do you understand what I'm saying? Marriage is a business contract, and we need to start looking at it as a business contract. When you get married, you need to look at your marital agreement, your marital contract as, okay, harika divorce. This is what we are doing. Basically, you need to get divorced before you get married. Relationships and marriage and where we are with each other, we've got to look at the finances, and the finances are a very, very important aspect. I'm not saying just go and get married to someone rich, but if you know that you're marrying someone like this, understand what you are going to do should this marriage come to an end. It's a deep contract, and we need to understand this contract that we are getting ourselves into so that we are not sitting in positions where I am right now, where I don't have debts. My only debt is the debt from that house that's been created for me. And it's blocking a lot of things for me. It's blocking me from being able to do a lot of things in my life. I need to get out of that debt before I can properly carry on with my life, and it's an inconvenience.
Yeah, I'm with you. So if you were to advise young women out there who are single, who are aspiring to get married, what kind of financial questions do you think women need to be asking their potential partner before they say, I do?
Who are you? What do you do? How much do you earn? Naki enaso. You know? And these are questions that I used to shy away from because I'm so humble. I used to think, hey, but these are gold digger questions. It's not gold digger questions. It's understanding your future with someone. And if record na 500 and Naki accept 500 euro, it was me accepting it. I get it. If ke bona gore na nka se khone 500 because na wait di wivitsa ka dia tura ke batla lo dula ko sentene ke itse gore manala a bokae di eyelash. If you know gore o batla life eo tshwantse o itse gore motho o tlang khona. It's important to have these conversations. And by the way, other people lie and say ke motho also and get a ABCD. Honey, kopa bona di statement ke batla bona gore o gola bokae. Because if this is our relationship and we are trying to build a future together, I need to know, okay, so na ke gola so, and then the contribute. So re tlo etsa jwang? Motse wa rona re tshwara jwang? Wena, okay, so o tlo kena mo, o go tlo patela bond. Na, you know, because I also want to feel like I contribute. Okay, no, e re ke reke di grocer na, and ke tla tshwara le lights and water, mutlakasi, when I would try the school fee. You know, you are able to plan better, especially in this day and age. We are living in a day and age where it's not every one of us that have the pleasure of having one salary in a house. There's got to be two people who are working. I'm very transparent. Me. Le anka khola more than wena. I'm transparent. Ke tla go ena ke re, "Hey, wait se ntate bona kapa mme kapa motho wa ka. This is my salary ke khola so and then na ke batla go contribute so mo ntlong ya rona ABCD. I'm that transparent. I don't believe in the other person not being that transparent. We need to be able to plan. And then from there, we sit and we say, okay, what are our goals for next year or for the next 5 years? Where do we see ourselves? You're able to plan. This thing of, it's out of the window. It's out of the window, Mkhulu. We need transparency. And that is kind of like how I think dates should go.
Yeah. So if I hear you correctly, so you're saying any woman who is single, planning to get married, need to have an open and transparent conversation about money.
Absolutely.
Discussing roles and responsibility and what the vision of that family is.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mkhulu.
So
money, love, your expectations of me. Are you gonna wake up in a year or 2 years? Because now, or whatever it is. Are you gonna wake up in a year or 2 years and say to me, do you get what I'm saying? It should be that transparent. Don't make me fall in love with you and then we get married and you're committed to me and wake up in a year or 2 years and say, how? We didn't have this conversation. I need to understand and have a clear plan of where I'm going to in this relationship with you. And money should be on the table too.
But don't people fall into the trap of perhaps seeing the signs that this person is not transparent or the things that don't
and we ignore them.
And we ignore them and we hop into that relationship.
I'm guilty of that. I did that. I saw signs. I saw signs of maybe I shouldn't. But I ignored every single one of them. We are guilty of that. And we do these things. But we're only human. We need to be able to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we make, for the bad decisions that we make. Because it's only in forgiving ourselves that we can now let go of these bad decisions and start attracting something different. Because in not forgiving ourselves, you'll leave this relationship because of these reasons, walk out and still continue attracting the same energies. And that's not what you want to do. But in forgiving ourselves, we're able to let go and let God and try and start on a clean slate.
So what kind of a financial mindset do you think a woman should have in this day and age?
Know what is going on in your life. Know what is going on in your bank account, in your finances. I think a woman's financial mindset should be everything that we have allowed our male counterparts to do. Because remember, a woman's, we've evolved a lot as women, but we've come from a history where a woman was barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and our mindset has needed to be that we need to see ourselves, whether you are sitting in the boardroom or not, even if you're a housewife, know what is going on in the bank account, in the finances. Don't be disempowered just because you're not waking up to go to work. Your work, you wake up and you do go to work. You are the house executive. You cook, you clean, you look after the kids. That's a lot of work. Being a housewife is not very easy. It's taxing on the mind and the body. You're planning everyone's lives, the children's lives, even your husband's life. And I think we as women need to respect ourselves more in our homes and see ourselves as the CEO and the businesswoman of this home. When we see ourselves like that, our financial mindsets will change and we won't feel inferior and scared to sit down with our partners so that we can plan. Our financial mindset should be, I am a money magnet. I attract money. Money comes easily to me. You deserve that money that he's gone out to work for because, honey, you've been working. You're looking after that home and the kids and him. And when those lights go off, honey, you still working? That's if they go off. Wabereka. And you keep.
Okay.
And you keep.
You mentioned bank account a couple of times.
Right.
Let's say your bank account could speak. If your bank account called you, what would it say to Letoya?
If my bank account
called
me,
what would it say to you?
It would say to me, thank you for filling me up.
So that's positive. You know, that's positive. So let's talk about fame and money. Is there a difference? Is it possible to... Is it automatic that these two always go together?
No, not all the time. We've seen the lives of artists, Mkhulu. Others have a lot of fame and no money. Others have had fame and money and then the money goes away, but the fame is still there. Fame and money don't always go together. It's very difficult to be famous and to go through financial issues. It's very difficult to be in the public eye and to know upanda something wapanda wena ubhizi waphanda uzama ukopanta dilo and when you walk out bathu bari yo ke muthu o and then you've got to compose yourself and play the part because these are your fans, these are your supporters, these are people who value what you do. But the depression kicks in when you've got to go back to your reality. And I've seen many artists go through. That's why we've got so much suicide, a high suicide rate with people in our industry. That's why we have such a high drug abuse rate, a high depression rate, because what you go out and receive from the world and the reality that you've got to go back to are not always the same.
You come across like someone who believes that in life you will fall from time to time, but you don't belong to the ground, that you have to stand up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We all get lessons in different ways. Sometimes people don't fall financially, but they just fall in spiritually. They're in a dark space internally. There are probably people who've just had so much luck with money that they've never really felt financial stresses, but they still go and they commit suicide or they still fall into deep depression, you know? How you fall differs from person to person. People's experiences are different, but the universe does come and mold and shape our characters, and how it molds and shape our characters depends from person to person. And each person's experiences, if it was up to me and I could wave a magic wand, I wish none of us would have to fall. I wish we could just be in this beautiful garden with fairies and unicorns and whatever the experiences are that we need to learn, we could just learn them without necessarily going through the trudge of it all, if it was up to me. But
in your own words, how would you describe financial abuse?
It's the story that I've just told you about myself. There's been experiences that I've seen from other people, other women, whose husbands have said to them, don't go and work. I will look after you, baby. I will look after everything around here. And suddenly she realizes that she can't pour petrol if he's not there, and he doesn't want to even send her money for petrol. She's got to wait until he gets home, or there's no food in the fridge, and she's got to wait for him to get home before she can get food. Financial abuse is that complete control over someone and making them completely dependent on you. But the craziest form of financial abuse is my story. I was working, I was going out and making the money, and I was making a lot of money in those relationships. And I still had no control over my own money. I was told when I would use it, how I would use it, where, how.
So how important is financial independence for women?
I think it's very, very important. It gives you a sense of power. But other women are very, very blessed to have partners who have said to them, baby, don't worry, I'll work. And that's my father. My father's one of them who, even if his wife is not working, he goes and he works, and it's just like, yeah, no, there's the card. I don't even think he knows what goes on in his own card. And he looks after his women very well. his wife. The 3 wives he's had, not women. He's not a polygamist. He looks after his wife very, very, very well. You find gentle, beautiful souls like that who will never financially abuse you because you are raising his kids and looking after him. But I think in this day and age, financial independence is very, very important. If there's something that you can do for yourself, do it, because there's no guarantees in life. Sometimes we do find the perfect partner, and sometimes we find someone, now you've put down all your qualifications, you've been to varsity, you studied electrical engineering, but now you've missed out on so many years of the experience that you should have been having because you did this. And suddenly this person is putting you through this. Where do you start now? You know, I think financial independence is important.
Are there things that you think you could have handled differently in your past, you know, financially speaking, that you could have done differently?
I could have not enabled the abuse.
How would you have done that?
I saw the signs in Kulu. The moment I saw the signs, I should have walked away. But because I was raised in a family that is so beautiful and my parents were separated by death and not divorce, that was my understanding of a relationship, you know? And every once in a while you saw mom and dad having some tension, but they always worked through it. So I guess in my head, I thought that's how this is gonna go. And so I held on for far much longer than I should have. I think the moment you see the signs of the abuse, leave. We stay for far too long. And some women's abuse and the fear of their partner is what makes them stay in it. Get help. There are so many organizations that can help you out. Go to the police, get protection orders, shout it out. Don't live secretly in abuse. Because that just makes your perpetrator stronger and stronger and stronger. Do not live secretly in abuse. Shout out what is happening to you and get out of there.
Yeah. There might be someone out there who finds themselves in the situation that you just described.
There are many.
And as women thinking, but who can I talk to? What is the best way of doing that without making yourself even more vulnerable to abuse, including physical abuse for that matter? What do you think women should do? What is the best way to deal with that?
Mkhulu, somebody lays their hands on you, you call the cops. And you don't drop those charges. And that's what we do. We start feeling guilty. We might call the cops. Some have the fear of calling the cops. Some can't even call the cops because maybe their spouse who's abusing them is a cop or has a relationship with cops. There's a wonderful organization that I've just literally started working with as well, just to kind of also help me finalize some of my matters, because I've been finding that the help from the courts is not always that great. There's a great organization run by Steve Letoya, who's also part of the LGBTQI community, and they call Chapter 2. I will always advise anyone to call them. They get very, very involved in any kind of abuse, and they've got counselors and social workers and lawyers and everything that any woman needs.
So now that you're saying, if a woman finds themselves in an abusive relationship, there are professionals, there are counselors out there, there are organizations that can help women, but at least speak to someone.
You've got to speak. It starts with opening your mouth, Mkhulu.
If you were to give young women out there who want to become celebrities or just getting into the industry, when it comes to the subject of handling finances, what tips would you give them?
I would say always make sure that your SARS is up to date. You never want to be in bad standing with SARS. They will come after you. Pay your taxes. And when they come after you, it's going to be rough. Pay your taxes. Have a good profile with your bank. I think it's your bank should be your father. You should be able to go to your bank if anything happens. Try not to have you know, obviously for us to qualify for certain things and loans and whatever, you know, the banks need us to have some credit, so we need to have a little bit of an account here or there, or save. One thing I've been saying is, even if your salary is 300 Rand, 10% of your salary, take that 30 Rand and just put it away. Just put it away, and you'll see by the end of the year how much your money has grown. That'll be your savings account. Just 10% of everything that you make. Respect your money, love money, call it into your life, and pay your taxes, guys.
Yeah.
Pay them taxes.
I can see you respect us.
Mkhulu. Yo.
Well, Letoya, thank you so much. I think you've been such a great inspiration, I'm sure, for women, many women out there, especially highlighting
sorry,
the issue
Mkhulu,
of
I'm sorry to
finance,
interrupt you. Get a financial planner. If you can't do this yourself, get someone to help you plan your finances.
Yes.
Financial planner. Sit with
Yes,
someone.
yes.
Especially if you make a lot of money overnight. Even if it's a little bit, get a financial planner. Tawazan, sorry.
Perfect. Great advice there.
Sorry to cut you off, Mkhulu.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
and wishing you all the best for your future. And I hope a lot of people can learn from what you've shared today.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.